I think it's a good time to do a holistic update for the entire semester. So let's get to that. All right, here it is. It's not a grad school video or even a college video unless somebody talks about the I word, the I phrase, the imposter syndrome. Um, Everybody knows it exists. If you still need to hear that it exists, here it is. It exists. It's a real thing. Um, but you shouldn't feel bad about it. And the way I'm gonna talk about it in this video is that how did it come up in my life and how did I deal with it? So it came up um, after exams or maybe in exam seasons when like you're just trying to study and like you get this like voice in your head that says, oh, like you don't know how to do that question, and if you don't know how to do that question, then why are you in this program? Other people know how to do this question and you're the only one that doesn't know how to do it, so you're gonna get caught and like you're not gonna do well. Like they're gonna find out that you're a fraud, that you got into this program because of a fraud. And to me it's just like, oh my god, oh god, like I don't know how to do this one question, I'm the only one that doesn't know this question, I'm gonna like get caught and be kicked out, oh no, oh no. But then like after having that for like 3 weeks straight of just seeing a problem and being like, I can't do it, I can't do it, I kind of got tired of it. Like that's how I conquered my imposter syndrome. Like I just got tired of it. I was just like, okay, okay, I can't do that one question, but I was able to do the other five. I can't do that one question, but I can explain the other four like perfectly well. What's one question gonna do to me? Like I'll see the answer key afterwards and like learn it from there. So like to me it's just like I kind of just got tired of it. I was just like, okay, and anything else that you want to tell me, imposter syndrome? Of like, okay. And they could just be like, okay, so you're not in this program, like you don't belong in this program, you're a fraud. And then to me, it's just like, isn't that a good thing? Like, I somehow got into this program, even though I'm kind of not smart. Like, that's kind of, to me, that's kind of absurd. That's kind of like, wow, I'm that powerful, huh? Like, I may not have like the intellectual smartness, but they saw something good in me that like made me stand out and like they made it like, oh, this person should go to grad school because it's just like if you think about it, like you got into this program for a reason. And if it's not because you're smart, and if it's because like if your imposter syndrome says, oh, you're not smart enough for this program, it must be because of something else. So you're probably more powerful in something else that you don't know about. And to me, I like rewired my brain like I'm insane because I do that. And to me, it's just like, oh, this makes me feel special. Because if I'm the only person that's dumb in this program and I'm still in this program, that kind of makes me powerful. Like, that means they see something in me that I don't. So to me, it's just like, ooh, like, I'm powerful. Just like, ooh, I'm so different. Ooh. So to me, it's just like imposter syndrome doesn't have a grab on me anymore because it's just like, okay, so I'm different. I feel like everybody is different, right? Everybody has their pros and cons in classes. Like, it's sort of kind of just like silly. Like, when I look back at it, it's just like, why would I be stressed that I'm different and like I'm not as capable as others? Because it's kind of just weird. It's a weird, like, levels kind of thing. Like, sure, I'm incapable in this kind of area and this kind of thinking, but like in another thinking or like in another process, I'm like higher. Like when it comes to talking to people, I'm kind of like up there. I like to think like I'm up there. When I do videos, I think I like to think that like making videos and being able to talk on the internet is like something good to me. So it makes it, there's like other things that I'm good at. Sure, I may not be good at doing proofs like right away. Like I take a while to actually do the proofs, but like I can still do them, and like I can teach very well. Like I'm comfortable in like a virtual realm of like teaching. So to me, it's just like, sure, I may not have like this one thing that like this imposter syndrome is like holding onto, but then I have like a million other things that I'm good at. So to me, it's just kind of like I'm not gonna let imposter syndrome bother me. Like it'll come here and there, but then it's not gonna like have a grab on me as much as it did like 5 weeks ago during exams. It may come back when I take the qualifying exams because it's just like, wow, I really am so stupid. But it's like, okay. Um, so yeah, it's kind of just like a weird blurb that I wanted to add in here about imposter syndrome and how I dealt with it. But I'm crazy. I'm different. I'm built different. So maybe it may not work for you, but like try to find ways on like fighting your imposter syndrome. Like tell it to shut up. Let's talk about self-care and like what I did this semester, what worked for me, what didn't work for me, and all that jazz, and like how I was able to stay relatively sane. But yeah, so the first thing that I wanted to say, like how I dealt with like self-care, is that I started giving myself dedicated time in the day where I say this is dedicated to me and my relaxation and my fun, and I will not, I repeat, I will not feel guilty of having fun. Because sometimes when you're having fun, when you're doing something that is not work, you tend to still think about work that you are not doing and you feel guilty about doing your fun thing. Does that make sense? It's just sort of like give yourself dedicated time in your schedule to be like, this is when I relax, this is when I have fun. And like not let the work or other things like cloud that. Like when you enter it, when you enter that time, it's just like, okay, there's work out there, but like I'm not gonna feel guilty about not doing that work. At least not yet. But then like I've kind of gotten used to it that like every week, like once or twice a week, I give myself like an hour or two to just play video games or like make videos. It's just kind of like this is the time where I will be doing something productive outside of school. Maybe I'm like trying out a new editing system. Maybe I'm like rearranging my room, but like somehow, someway, like still staying productive or like doing something fun to me, but like feeling not guilty about doing said fun. I think guilt is really like a big thing in terms of like work schedules. Like if you feel guilty about doing something, it makes you feel bad, and like that gives you like a negative association to whenever you take a break. And I think it's time to like start detaching ourselves from that thought process. So that's one of the main things that I did. Another thing that I did was separating my work and my life. Those are two different things. So in my bedroom, I do not have any work material in there. It is just a bed and my toys, and that's it. There's no TVs in there. There's nothing in there besides my bed. And because I wanted to separate that like thought process in my head of like once I enter my bedroom, I am not in work mode. I may be on my phone, I may be looking at emails, but I am not in work mode. Like if I want to reply to an email, it has to be sent from my laptop because I can type better on my laptop than I can on my phone. So to me, I've sort of separated my life that way. I like to like have like a barrier in my like in the way that I laid out my apartment. It's sort of like I'm corralled whenever I'm at work. It's just like this is my dedicated workstation. Every time I sit on this chair, I'm doing some type of productive work. Every time I'm off this chair, I am doing something fun. It may still be productive, but it is mainly for fun. And so that's how I've kind of like done like a good healthy like work life balance, as like some people would call it. But yeah, um, and the third thing is this may sound bad, and I don't want people to take this the wrong way. But to me, I found like the one place that I'm gonna go to whenever I'm having like sort of an off day. Like there's this Mexican bakery like probably a mile down that I walk to like once in a while, probably like once a week, where I just buy bread. I buy pan dulce, and it's sort of like just something nice for me to have. Like it lets me have like a walk, so I can have a bit of cardio, get my heart a bit pumping. It gets me some fresh air, even though it's cold outside, and it also gets me some bread. And like there's a Mexican store next to it that I sometimes also go to. So like I make it like a sort of trip of like I'm gonna buy food that I'm gonna cook for the rest of the week, and also buy some bread to like eat as a snack. So then like I make it back home and like I feel rejuvenated. I feel like I've done like something active in my life. I bought food, so that's also good. So to me like it just hits a lot of the points. But I think the bad thing about it is I don't want it to Like I don't want this like tip to be like, oh, like I'm gonna find the one place and I'm gonna go to it like every single day because like that'll make me feel better. Not really. I think there should be some sort of like limit, not limit, but like you should be mindful of how much you're spending going to and from that place. Um, and also like learning that some places are not as good as others. There are places where you can go to make yourself feel better for a moment of time, but it may not be as good for your health. So like it's sort of just like what type of person are you? What does you good? I love food. That's why going to bakeries is like my thing. Um, I don't like coffee, but maybe like you like coffee, so you may go to like a Starbucks like once in a while, like make the effort of like walking there or whatever. But you know, just finding that one place where you can get out of your like home space, get out of your like workspace, like an actual distance away, get some fresh air, move your legs. So you know, just something like to do. The last thing is related to Zoom. You should spend more time asking people to hang out on Zoom. It is still awkward. I am not going to lie. It is always probably going to be awkward because it's not normalized in society to do hangouts through an online platform. But you should ask more people to hang out. I think for me, I salvaged my sanity and my mental health by spending every single week, every Friday night, being on a Zoom call, talking to people, and like just telling them like how my week went and like how my day's going. And I think that ultimately helped like ground me into like reality and say like everything is going to be fine. Because then the people that I tend to talk to were the grad students in the program, so like they can share in like the misery of like the stress that the semester has been. So it's sort of nice to have like that moment, and I will emphasize that it is a moment, not a whole episode of just y'all ranting. I think it's best that it be kept as like a short moment of like, oh God, it's been a terrible week. And then like you talk about it for like a few minutes and then you move on to something better. And I think that's like a key thing to have as like a mental health check. Just being able to talk to people. And even though we're in a pandemic, I think Zoom is like a good platform. Maybe not Zoom, maybe like Instagram, FaceTime, or like Messenger on Facebook. But any type of like communication that you can have like vocally as opposed to like in text. Because this is a very different like type of setting if you're texting as opposed to when you're speaking. Even on a phone call. I think just any type of communication, just like don't trap yourself in, because I think that's one of the main things that my professor mentor has given me is just like don't trap yourself in this program. Just because you're in this program doesn't mean that you detach yourself from everything else outside of your life. Sure that this program tends to like swoop in and take all of your time away from you, but like don't let it. Like at least give yourself 1 hour to talk to another person that is not in the program, that you can be like, yes, I am still alive, I am still a person outside of this program. And I think that's just nice. But all right, so that is it for this video. I spent a lot of time talking, but if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them in the comments below and I'll reply to them. And yeah, I hope you liked this video. I hope this was really helpful if you're a first year grad student, or if you're a grad student that's above me and you still found this to be helpful. Good job. Good job. We survived one semester. At least I have. I'm early. Like I finished early. But I hope like other people are having a wonderful semester. I hope you finish and have a good rest of your winter break. And I'll see the grad school update videos in January 2021. But for now, we're just gonna have fun videos, fun type of videos. So yeah, until next time, I'll see y'all later.